welcome to HITC Sport. Right, let's take a look at something a bit different today. Imagine if sackings didn't exist. If contracts were always honoured, and so when someone was given a 4-year deal, the club actually meant it. Because let's face it lads, at the moment contracts in football mean absolutely nothing. But in this hypothetical world I'm creating just for today, I'm going to take a look back at the furthest manager who had a contract until 2019 and beyond. So basically lads, who would your manager be right now if contracts were always honoured? Arsenal, Arsene Wenger. Right, so in this convoluted reality that I've created for myself for no goddamn reason, Arsene Wenger would still have been at the club last season. Because I remember when Wenger was awarded for finishing 5th and conceding 10 against Bayern Munich with a goddamn 2-year extension in May 2017. And so yeah, I mean if Wenger hadn't been kicked out a year later, to the sound of Arsenal fans celebrating like they won the treble, he'd have still been at the club last season. With most of the fans no doubt sticking their heads in a goddamn oven. Aston Villa, Remy Gard. Oh good Christ, can you imagine if Remy Gard was still at the club? Not only would Aston Villa not be in the Premier League, they'd probably be stuck at the foot of League One. Okay, that's a bit harsh considering he did alright at Lyon, but Jesus Christ, in his 6 months at Villa Park, he displayed all the tactical nous of a broken dishwasher. I'm guessing Villa are pretty delighted that it is actually legal to sack a football manager. I mean, this scenario is sort of like if divorce never existed. So you get married to someone who you thought was originally a nice person, and then within 6 months they hit the Doritos like there's diamonds at the bottom, and develop the personality of a wet sponge. Pretty soon, you'd be ready to stick your head in the goddamn fireplace. That was Villa fans. The club was so sure that Gard was the man that they offered him a 3.5-year deal in November 2015, which would have taken him until the end of last season. And in reality, he wasn't a man. He won 2 games in 18, got smashed 6-0 at home, played the human ball of cookie dough that is a bottle up front. No wonder he was sacked after 147 days before he could do any more damage. 147 days, Christ above lads, I've had tugs in the shower longer than that. It was a long winter. Bournemouth, Eddie Howe. Okay, Eddie Howe has been at Bournemouth since October 2012. Of course, he's the answer here. No other manager comes close. Brighton, Chris Hughton. Brighton would still have Chris Hughton in charge, with the man having signed a 3-year extension in May 2018. 1 year later, he was down the goddamn unemployment office. Burnley, Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche has been at Burnley since October 2012. The only way this man wouldn't make this list would be if Eddie Howe had been offered an 8-year contract in 2012. But come on, no club is actually stupid enough to offer someone an 8-year contract. Chelsea, Jose Mourinho. Yeah, if contracts were iron-proof, there would have been no Mourinho at Manchester United, except in the opposing dugout, no Paul Pogba drama, and Jose wouldn't now be sitting at home, currently weighing up whether or not to become the coach of Paul Dummett. In August 2015, Mourinho was awarded with the League and Cup double with a new 4-year extension that would have seen him through to the end of last season.
I said when I returned here 2 years ago that I have a special feeling for this club and nothing changed. It is the club closest to my heart and I'm happy to know I'll be staying here for a long time.
Within 6 months he was chucked on the scrap heap, and pretty soon after, he'd have the entirety of Stamford Bridge calling him a goddamn Judas. To be honest, I know Conte ended up winning the league, but I think keeping Mourinho on would actually have served Chelsea better than bowing to the whims of Oscar and low Remy. If Mourinho had another 4 years, the club might actually have had a bit of stability. I might have actually, put up a sustained bit of league titles, but whatever. Crystal Palace, Sam Allardyce. In this hypothetical world, Crystal Palace would actually be thanking their lucky stars that Sam Allardyce existed. Something not even his wife does. Because otherwise, lads, you'd still have another year left of Frank de Boer. And you would have no doubt forgotten what it feels like to actually score a goal. But no, his predecessor, Big Sam, signed a 2.5-year deal in December 2017, which would have taken him through to the end of last season. Instead, he resigned after 5 months. After realizing he couldn't really do anything with the front line of Benteke and Connor Wickham. Everton, Roberto Martinez. Yeah, were it not for the ability to sack a manager, Roberto Martinez would have never guided Belgium to 3rd of the World Cup and would instead be stuck at Goodison Park. It seems like after a lot of money, uncertainty and patchy seasons, Everton are back where they started, just with the Portuguese version of Martinez. Anyway, after helping the Toffees to 7th in the league during the 13-14 campaign, the board clearly got carried away and gave him a 5-year extension to take him through to 2019.
In many commentators' eyes, Roberto Martinez is the best young manager in Europe. We agree. He undertakes his business with great style, confidence, positivity and class. He is an Everton man.
Within 2 years, he was an unemployed man. Leicester City, Claudio Ranieri. Since being sacked by Leicester in February 2017, Claudio Ranieri has rocked up at Nantes, Fulham and Roma and has now been linked with a Newcastle job. I do feel sorry for that man's wife. She's probably lived the last 20 years out of a goddamn suitcase. But if Leicester hadn't sacked him and honoured his contract, he'd still be at the King Power, having been rewarded with a new 4-year deal just 3 months later. He was gone within 6 months. Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp. No, don't worry lads, Brendan Rodgers would not still be at Liverpool. It's been long enough, alright? The last deal he signed at Anfield was in May 2014, which would have kept him until 2018, giving him ample opportunity to fill a squad with more Barinis and Ricky Lamberts. But no, Jurgen Klopp is the correct answer here. But if Liverpool fans had their way, they'd chain him to the goddamn stadium for the next 20 years. Be careful though, because I remember Arsenal fans wishing a similar thing back in 2004, when the board even guaranteed him a job for life. Within 3 years he was chucking Nicholas Bentner up front, which is like finding out on the honeymoon that your missus listens to Taylor Swift. Man City, Pep Guardiola. Luckily for Man City, Pep Guardiola would still be at the club, with his predecessor's contract taking him nowhere near 2019. Man United, David Moyes. Alright. Whose idea was to give David Moyes a 6-year contract? Yes, United aren't their 4th manager since Fergie, but if contracts were iron-proof, Moyes would have still been at the club at the end of last season. Imagine offering someone a 6-year deal after one job interview. Christ above, it's like getting married to someone after 3 dates on Tinder. It was a move that stank of about as much desperation as a Love Island contestant. I can only imagine what Manchester United would be if that was the case. And Moyes was actually forced to see out that prison sentence, embarrassing himself every 5 minutes. I'm guessing the club would be 12th in the league, getting rejected during the transfer window more times than me in my teens, and would no doubt be stuck with Victor Anichebe up front. Actually, let's be honest, with Moyes as manager for 6 more years, the club would probably be burned to the goddamn floor. Newcastle, Alan Pardew. Yeah, if contracts were honoured, the man still in charge of Newcastle United would be Alan Pardew. Now, I've seen football clubs make stupid decisions, but handing Pardew an 8-year contract tops the lot. That's like proposing to a fucking rock, or someone off Geordie Shore. 20 minutes into the marriage. No wait, 20 minutes into a goddamn conversation, and you probably start bleeding from the fucking ears. Yeah, in September 2012, Pardew was given an 8-year contract, having guided Newcastle to 5th the previous season. That year he'd end up finishing 16th and getting battered 6-0 at home, giving an expert masterclass in how to destroy your own good work. If contracts were honoured, he would still have a year left at St James's Park. To be honest, he should be thankful he didn't have to honour it. If he had stayed that long, I'm guessing Newcastle fans would be chucking dead cats at his car. Then again, Steve McLaren was given a 3-year deal with an option to extend to 8 years of Steve McLaren. I'd rather boil my own feet. How much longer till that club start handing out 10-year contracts to Gary Monk? Norwich City, Daniel Farke. Yeah, none to see here. None of his predecessors had deals up until 2019. So yeah, Daniel Farke, appointed in May 2017, is the answer. Sheffield United, Chris Wilder. Yeah, another boring one. Chris Wilder would still be at Sheffield United, having replaced Nigel Atkins, who had a contract up until the summer 2018, in May 2016. Having said that, if Sackings didn't exist, the club would have had to put up with 3 years of David Weir, and would therefore no longer be a football club, just a big lump of rubble. Southampton, Claude Puel. Why on earth did Southampton ever sack Claude Puel? He had them finishing 8th and reaching a cup final. Christ above, they would tear off their right arm to get even half that nowadays. He signed a 3-year contract with Southampton in June 2016, which would have expired at the end of this week. They should have just kept him, Christ above. Tottenham, Mauricio Pochettino. Tim Sherwood would have had to be offered a 5-year deal to keep Mauricio Pochettino out of this list. Thankfully for Tottenham, nobody at that club was that batshit insane. Only last summer, Pochettino signed a new 5-year deal with the club, worth up to £8.5 million. Fun fact though, in a world without sackings, the Spurs would have had Juande Ramos for 4.5 years, right up until 2012. By that stage, half the fans would probably been praying that the world would end. Watford, Marco Silva. Yeah, Watford sack managers every 20 minutes, except for when I make stupid bets concerning my well-being. But they don't actually offer anyone a long-term deal, which is why I don't have to go too far back for Watford, despite the fact that they've had more managers than I've had hot dinners. Marco Silva was given a 2-year contract in May 2017, which would have taken him to the end of last season. 2 years might not seem a lot for the commitment phobes that is the Pozzo family, but for them, 2 years was like a goddamn engagement. And they still sacked him after a few months. West Ham, Manuel Pellegrini. No, because Slaven Bilic was never offered a contract extension, and David Moyes had about as much job security as a goddamn toilet duck, the correct answer is just Pellegrini. Interesting fact though, well, not so much interesting as it is just depressing. Avram Grant was once given a 4-year contract at Upton Park. 4 years of Grant, and remind the goddamn stadium, West Ham would no doubt cease to exist. Wolves, Walter Zenga. Christ above, Wolves' current manager would be Walter Zenga, who signed a 3-year deal in July 2016, only to be moved from his job after 14 matches. You know when you're dragging in Paul Lambert to clean up the mess? You know it must have been a right horrific run of form. And it was, with Wolves going on a 9-game winless run. Considering Zenga has been recently sacked by a club in the Italian Serie C, I'm guessing he'd have led Wolves into a goddamn brick wall. Anyway, that's the end of the video, lads. It was a bit of a strange one, bit of a convoluted one. But yeah, these are who your managers would be if Sackings didn't exist. Let me know, would he be better off? I'm guessing in most cases not. Anyway, let me know if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give it a like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram here. That's where I make my big announcements for the channel. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.